Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Mike here at Game From Scratch, and Epic Games just announced some pretty epic news for indie game developers, especially indie game developers that like money, because now you can actually self-publish on the Epic Game Store, and this is going to open up the Epic Game Store to a ton of indie titles for good or for bad. There are some barriers, and we'll check out those in just a second, so it shouldn't be completely flooded with crap. So here we are on the announcement blog, and we're going to find out the exact details. We'll get into more detail in just a second. Let's go through this right now. Pleased to announce Epic Game Store is now available to all developers and publishers through the launch of new self-service publishing tools in the Epic Developer Portal. These tools will help developers to efficiently release games, maintain their store presence, and reach a growing audience of over 68 million active PC users. So why would you want to use the Epic Game Store? Well, as I just said, there are 68 million active PC users of the store. Obviously, those monthly giveaways are helping to grow their install base to a certain degree. On top of that, and probably one of the biggest reasons, is the developer split. On the Steam store, for example, it's a 70-30 split. On this store, it's an 88-12 split. So you get to keep a lot more of your money. On top of that, if you actually offer in-app purchases in your thing, you don't have to use their payment processor, and you can make even more money. So if you have your own in-app purchases processor, or you're using something like a third party like Stripe, and you pay a lot less, you're going to make even more money. On top of that, Developer Portal has integrated process for obtaining IARC ratings at no additional cost to you. Epic also has a process for providing localization at no additional cost. This is a manual service requested through a ticket on the Developer Portal. There is an affiliate program called Support a Creator that enables you to incentivize content creators to talk about your game by splitting a revenue share with them. And there is also a royalty waiver. So if you use Unreal Engine right now, you pay a 5% royalty after the first $1 million you've earned. If you build your game with Unreal Engine and you publish it on their store, you don't have to pay that royalty at all. But you do have to use their payment processor. So that's the only gotcha there. So pretty sweet, especially if you're developing an indie game using Unreal Engine. Publishing to their store just got easier, and the deal is very, very good. So a little bit more details of it are available right here. The breakdown is pretty much all of this graphic, so you sign up there. Now here's the key thing. There is a $100 submission fee per game. Steam did this as well, and I think it is a good idea because it kind of the low effort asset flip crap, people that aren't going to get their $100 back aren't going to submit the game. So this is going to keep it being completely flooded with crap. So that part is definitely probably a good move in my opinion, but I'd love to hear what you think of that $100 submission fee in the comments down below. You can build and publish a coming soon page. So configure and build the game page, submit the page for Epic's review, publish the coming soon page to the store. You build, test, and rate your game. So set up game offers and sub pages, upload and test builds, obtain the rating optionally. You can submit the game for review. So submit the updated page for Epic Content Review, submit game for requirement review, and then you launch your game. So reach a global audience of 200 million users, and you keep 88% of the revenue. Now, this is just giving you the ability to automatically submit to them. It doesn't automatically guarantee that your game is going to be made live. So it's still going to be reviewed by them, as is your page, and obviously they have to do that because people could exploit that so fast. Some of the requirements, though: stores open to all developers and publishers who meet the Epic Game Store requirements. These requirements are designed to provide a best-in-class player experience that does not lock players into a single store. Requirements include PC crossplay for multiplayer games. You could do this, by the way. It doesn't mean that you have to use online services. You could technically use Steam if you wish, but you have to run it across all stores. So if your game runs on Steam and has multiplayer, it also has to work on GOG and obviously the Epic Online Store. All games onboarded to the Epic Game Store published after March 9, 2023 are required to enable Epic Game Store achievements. If the game has achievements on other stores. So if you don't have achievements, you do not have to do that. There's documentation on how to actually configure those achievements there. Age ratings for regional distribution. So this is where that IARC, or the International Age Rating Coalition, comes in. So you're going to have to get a rating there. Certain types of content are prohibited on the store, including but not limited to hateful or discriminatory content, pornography, illegal content, content that infringes on intellectual property you do not own or have the right to use, scams, frauds, deceptive practices such as fake games or malware. The only one that I think some people are going to run into is what is defined as pornography. Steam has the same issue. I don't know what the deal is for Steam allowing porn games or not. It's not really my genre of choice. And your game must download, install, launch, and function consistently with the assets and description you provided provided on the game page, and they reserve the right to reject anything that they do not feel meets those criteria. And then another breakdown again of why you would want to use their service. So if you do want to check this out, you basically head on over to the developer portal. The SDK is available for download right here. The Epic Game Store link is right here. Now, you may remember I kind of inserted out sorta earlier on. Well, when you click this, it's restricted access, not integrated with Epic Game Store. Learn more. You click that, and it brings you to this other page, basically talking about how it is open to all stores and the advantages of using it. And they've got a couple of FAQ down here as well. So, for example, if you create your game in Unity, can you bring it over? And yes, you can. What are the self tools? We just went over that, so I'm not going to cover it again. What is the Epic Portal? We're there for a second ago. What other tools are available? How do I distribute your game? So on and so forth. By the way, they do have regional pricing, and they do have refunds for things tagged as refundable and not refundable. So that is basically it. It is a self-publishing service for the Epic Game Store. Again, there are those criteria. So there's the $100 submission fee, and your game has to be reviewed and approved before it can go on. And you do have some content limits on what you can send up. And again, the most questionable one is probably going to be that what is qualified as pornography. And I think that the standard is you know it when you see it. And again, that kind of breaks down differently for different people, and this mostly is going to apply to a certain genre of game that is very prevalent in the Steam store. So it'd be interesting to see if those kind of games are allowed here as well. But that is it. Epic Games moving towards a self-publishing service available for the Epic Game Store. Now, it isn't instantly click and your game is up there, and obviously they can't do that because they would get sued into oblivion when the first person uploaded, that game. But it is a step forward and makes it easier for an indie game developer to make more money. I do think that their criteria, their requirements here about this stuff right here, crossplay must work across all stores. That's a good one. If you have achievements, you have to also have achievements on their store. Reasonable. Has to have a rating. Reasonable. Prohibited content. That's where it can get a little iffy. And your game needs to do what your game says it does. I agree with all of those things. And the advantages of using their store, they're all pretty straightforward as well. If you're developing a PC game using Unreal Engine, you're a complete non-brainer to upload it to their store unless you're getting some kind of a massive exclusivity deal. And I don't know that Steam offers massive exclusivity deals, so I don't see that happening anyways. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and sign up today. So that is it. Let me know what you think of the Epic Game Store in general. Have you come around? Because I know a lot of people just don't like the Epic Game Store. I don't get the hatred, to be honest. It's come a long way. There's a shopping cart now, so that's definitely a move forward. I know there are some people that really can't stand them for buying exclusives at the very beginning, but I just think that's business practice. I think all the major consoles do that. Most of the major stores do that. I don't really view that. I never got a hatred for them. And if you didn't know, you can actually get free games constantly on the store. So if you're not already just hoarding the free games, it might be worth signing up just to go get those. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. You can now self-publish to the Epic Game Store. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. Talk to you all later. Goodbye.